Hello everyone, and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. The attitude the old media adopts while covering anything that has to do with the Catholic Church is practically hateful. The last case in point, two books. One by Archbishop Chaput of Denver called Render Unto Caesar. It's an insightful look at, among other things, the role of the Church vis-a-vis society. It gets almost zero coverage in the old media. Carrie Kennedy, daughter of Bobby Kennedy, writes a book and the media can't stop covering it. It's getting as much coverage as the election. If it weren't for the financial mess, the old media would have probably just preempted election coverage and gone with wall-to-wall coverage of Kennedy's book. So, why the difference in treatment? You don't even have to ask. Carrie Kennedy's book is full of interviews with dissident, heretical Catholics who espouse one after the other how the Church is wrong about this or wrong about that, and ultimately wrong about everything. Archbishop Chaput's book talks about higher spiritual goods. Kennedy's book is a stroll down nostalgia lane for some of the most public, anti-Catholic Catholics in the United States. She asked 37 Catholics to submit essays about their thoughts on the Church. Now, to be fair and to be certain, they aren't all heretics in the book, but enough of them are to give an entirely lopsided view of what it means to be a Catholic. In an interview with the Boston Globe, Ms. Kennedy masks over the obvious doctrinal deficiencies that she and her ilk have and says warm baby spittle niceties that have no real basis in reality. Here's some of her interview.
The old adage, once a Catholic, always a Catholic, stays. People, even those who have left the Church or who are not as active in Catholicism today, still retain a sense of piety, a sense of belief in something larger than themselves, a bent towards social justice, and a capacity for love and compassion.
Sure, they have a capacity for love and compassion. Every human has the capacity. The problem with the lukewarm crowd is that they don't exercise their capacity. When it comes to love and compassion, practically everyone in the book is in favor of killing unborn children. And stop right there. Ms. Kennedy, if you and your book buddies support the killing of children, you have automatically disqualified yourselves from talking about love and compassion. Then she rambles on in a melodic tone about what she says it means to be Catholic.
Well, I hope that people walk away feeling I'm not alone, feeling that there are others out there who are struggling with the same issues and who are also celebrating the great aspects of Catholicism, and that it's possible to have disagreements with your pastor or your pope and still be a fully engaged Catholic.
Is there a polite way to tell someone to just shut up? She couldn't be more wrong. Being a fully engaged Catholic means being fully engaged, accepting and believing fully everything the Church officially teaches, whether it fits into a hedonistic lifestyle or not. Oh, by the way, it doesn't. You cannot disagree with church teaching, live opposed to church teaching, and still be a faithful Catholic. That's why the word is faithful. There is no room for dissent because you are full of faith, so there's no room for dissent. This crowd has run the store for nearly 40 years now with the help of their liberal allies in the media and the Church. This is the cafeteria crowd run amok and now published. People like Nancy Pelosi, abortion activist who wanted to be a priest. Father Robert Drinan, a former U.S. congressman who practically invented the personally opposed but argument for other Catholic politicians to use for cover when talking about abortion. Susan Sarandon, arch abortion and contraceptive supporter. Andrew Sullivan, huge homosexual activist and AIDS activist. Cokie Roberts from ABC News, who says in her essay that she disagrees with the Church on, in her words, everything, but she insists she won't be driven out. Yo, Cokie, newsflash for the newswoman. You're already out, and it was you who drove yourself out. There's Dan Aykroyd, who, being the good Catholic he is, says he wants the church hammered on everything. And of course, there's Bill Maher, who, as a now Catholic, doesn't even believe in God. There is the venerable retired Cardinal Theodore McCarrick of D.C., who wouldn't know how to uphold an unpopular church teaching if he had a scaffold. His contribution is more social justice, seamless garment, duck and cover tripe. In the end, all Kennedy has done is produce yet another in a long line of heretical blather from prominent, perhaps once faithful Catholics who do not want to conform their lives to the teachings of the Church and to therefore Jesus Christ himself. For the most part, they support artificial contraception, abortion, divorce and remarriage, homosexual sex, embryonic stem cell research, euthanasia. Get the picture? The sorry part is the ignorant read this compost and think being a Catholic is like strolling through the buffet line and all you need to do is just feel like a Catholic. To this group of affluent, spoiled, theologically unsound, egocentrical former Catholics, the question must be posed. Do you really think you still belong to a church that stretches back to the apostles while believing that being Catholic now is somehow different than it was then? There's only one way to be Catholic, and picking and choosing what to believe isn't it. It might do each of them well to pick up Archbishop Chaput's book and give it a read. That is, if the old media could take a break from promoting being Catholic now and inform you about it. I'm Michael Voris.